Hey guys, Jonathan here, and in today's video, we're taking a look at the brand new LEGO X-Men X-Mansion, which LEGO sent me early to review, but of course, all thoughts are my own. This will be $330 with 3,092 pieces when it comes out on November 1st at the LEGO store for insiders and November 4th for everybody else. Now, this set is absolutely insane, not only in terms of size, but the amount of minifigures included, and just the fact that LEGO finally tackled a huge X-Men set like this. It's definitely a hallmark that a lot of fans have been waiting for, and in this video, we're going to find out if it lives up to the hype. Now, a couple other things to mention is this is 15.75 inches wide, 10.63 inches tall, and 9.84 inches deep. So it definitely takes up a lot of size, and it's actually built in 3 sections. So you build the left side, the right side, and the middle in 3 different books. So if you have 3 friends or 3 family members, you could all build this together. And it actually comes apart so you can access the inside, all of which I'll be showing you over the course of this video. Now, of course, we also get a giant Sentinel here in all of the minifigs, so let's take a look at the minifigs, then we'll get into the build. Alright, so our first minifigure, of course, is Wolverine. This is the same one that comes in the X-Jet set, but not quite as good as the one that came in the Marvel CMF from the year previous. As you'll see, he doesn't have the printed arms, or the dual molded legs, or side leg printing, so it's a pretty basic minifigure overall. As far as accessories, of course, he has his claws. We could lift up the cowl to see a smirk with his goggles on this side, and just kind of an inquisitive look on this side. And he actually does come with a hairpiece, so if you did want to have him lounging around the X-Mansion without the mask on, of course, you could do that. But he does look best with the cowl on. He also comes with a motorcycle here, which, of course, you could take the claws out of his hands to have him ride the motorcycle. It's a really nice bike, actually. I don't have this blue chassis piece yet, so I like that a lot. And then, of course, it clips into the set down here, as we saw earlier, so overall, it's definitely a good accessory for Logan. Alright, up next we have Rogue, who, crazy enough, is exactly the same as the X-Jet, just like Wolverine, and that's unfortunate because it could have been cool to get, like, some printing on the arm, like with an X-Men patch or something like that, but this minifigure is really good, and was really good when it came out earlier this year, so it is hard to complain about. She does have a head that is reversible here, and for those that don't know, the LEGO Marvel theme likes to do something called bleeding minifigures, meaning that they try to use the same figures in as many sets as possible. So, when we got that X-Jet at the beginning of the year, and the rumors around this set started to circulate, it was almost guaranteed that most, if not all of those figures were going to appear here, which of course they did. Speaking of repeat figures, we have Cyclops, but this time he actually has hip and leg printing, which really helps elevate the figure. It looks so good, and it's one of my favorite figures offered here, even though the only new thing, of course, is that leg print. The head is reversible with a little bit more of a smug face on the other side, which is quite cool. And then, while a little bit goofy, they did include this, which allows you to be able to have his optic blast go on, and using, legal LEGO methods, I really don't know another way that this could have been done, but it is kind of goofy to just have like a missile and he's like holding it up to his face, and it doesn't even really touch his face. There's not really a way to make it do that within legal LEGO methods of piece placement. Say that 10 times fast. So it is cool. I like that they didn't just make us use our imaginations, but it does look a little bit goofy. Now, the most disappointing figure included here is Professor X. I'll start with the good, and that's his hover chair. I really think that this works out well. If we lift it up, you can see it's entirely brick-built and uses some ingenious ways of getting sloping and angles down, which I really like. But as far as the figure is concerned, it's literally just Michael Scott with Loki's head. Oh my gosh, it's so bad. How we didn't get the green suit for this, I don't know. But the head and torso, it just doesn't look anything like Professor X. And to me, it's not only one of the most disappointing parts of the set, but easily the most disappointing minifigure included here. Up next, we have Storm, who is very similar to her CMF version, but really only in the white color scheme of the suit. Other than that, pretty much everything here is new, and that's pretty exciting. Of course, she has these cool lightning bolts that are brick-built that go in her hands, and then on one side of her head, she's got this smile, and when we flip that around, she's got her lightning eyes going on, which is really cool. Another very cool thing is this cloth piece that goes around the wrists and has yellow trim on it, which is really awesome. And when we lift that hair up, you can see we also have a pretty detailed print on the back of the torso as well. This figure really delivers, and I think it is a natural inclusion to have in the set. And I love how it looks when she's flying over the mansion, as we saw at the beginning of the video. Definitely a cool figure. All right, up next we have Magneto, and this is the first time he's been in his red and purple outfit since the Mighty Micros days years ago. And even before that, the only other red and purple version of Magneto we got was in 2012. So it's really cool to have him back here again. He does utilize the new rubber cape in purple, which I have to admit, I think it looks the best on Magneto of any character we've gotten these rubber capes on so far, although I'm not a big fan of the rubber capes in general. This also shows the return of Magneto's helmet, which looks really great. We haven't had that in years either, and we of course can flip that around to see his angry face on the other side, and he also comes with a hairpiece with the receding white hairline, which looks really good on either side. You'll see he's got these little, magnetic blasts he can hold in his hand, as well as the little, I guess, what would you call that? Like the platform he hovers on. I think that works really good too. But overall, the big thing here, of course, is the return of Magneto's helmet, and it just looks so awesome. All right, here we have Iceman, and if you saw my interview with the designers, as well as the video of the designers revealing the set, they actually said that this X-Mansion isn't specifically based off of X-Men 97, nor is it based off the movies. It really, really lifts from X-Men 97, but it really pays homage to all eras and formats of X-Men, which is why Iceman is included here. I also asked if Iceman was picked because this completes the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends lineup, since we, of course, have Spider-Man and Firestar in the Daily Bugle, and they did confirm, yes, that's why Iceman was included. So I think that this figure works out really well. Of course, his brick-built ice blasts are really cool, and there's not really too much more I could have wished for with this figure. I think they did a really good job with it, and we'll keep moving on. All right, before we take a proper look at the Bishop minifig, I love that they used this pink power blast with just a brick on there so that he could be jumping out of a time portal. I really, really think that's a cool inclusion. Then, of course, it has this piece here so that you could insert it anywhere around the set to have him jumping into action. So I thought that was a cool inclusion and wanted to shout that out as a part of talking about the Bishop minifig. All right, so now for the minifig itself, this figure is awesome and delivers on all fronts. First off, the brick-built gun looks absolutely amazing. Then we get that great torso print and the leg print that is just so iconic for Bishop. If we lift the hair up, you can see the back detail is really amazing as well. We could flip the hair around to see an alternate expression on the head, and overall, this figure leaves absolutely nothing to be desired. Lego absolutely cleaned up with this, and I love it. Jean Grey is up next, and this is another minifigure that I really think they knocked it out of the park with. I really don't think that there'd be any reason to go over the top with leg printing. I really think it works great, and of course this new orange hairpiece that debuts on this figure works really well too. I should clarify, the color is what's debuted here. This hairpiece has been around for over a decade. That being said, if we lift it up, you can see that there's great back printing and a reversible head print as well, and overall I think that this figure really delivers on all fronts. I love it, and I think Lego did a great job. Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here with Gambit. This figure is absolutely crazy, and I think this is the best figure of the set, bar none. Now, Lego did include this pink piece here. I believe that debuted in Ninjago, if I'm not mistaken. Then we get 3 cards that all have stickers on them for Gambit to be throwing the cards, and it's just incredible. I'll go ahead and remove that so it's not as distracting as we look at the figure up close, but it's incredible the level of detail they got in the torso and legs. Yes, would dual-molded legs be better? Of course, but I really, really like what we got here regardless. Of course, the head can be flipped around for a more angry expression on the opposite side, and it is weird because in some of the promo images, he had Han Solo hair, but I can confirm the hair you see here is the hair you get in the set, and overall, this is a great figure, one of my favorite Marvel figures of the year, and of course, extrapolating from that, one of my favorite figures in this set. So, let's start taking a look at some of the builds now. Okay, so next we'll take a look at the Sentinel, and just to show you how big it is, here is Cyclops standing right next to it, so it is absolutely massive. I'm so happy that they didn't go with the Ant-Man style figure build for this. I really like that it's its own thing. As you can see, we do have some movability here. I don't know if I would call this the ankle per se, but it's the closest thing to equate it to. We also have hip ball joints there, as well as shoulder joints, elbow joints, and wrist joints. So this is super posable. The neck is also on a ball joint as well. That being said, when we look at the bottom here, there are holes in the bottom that I suppose you could add fire to if you wanted, but there's actually a little peg over here that you're able to insert the foot on for stability, which I really like, especially for, you know, building into the story of the set. That being said, it's pretty basic. The face is actually printed in the little, I don't know, the fire emblem there, if you will, kind of the exhaust engine, I don't know what you would call that, is a sticker. That being said, it's really solid all the way around, and as far as play features go, you could see that inside the palm, there's actually a little stud there that you could, like, attach a minifigure's leg to make it look like they're being trapped, or on this side, of course, we also have that same hole there, which can hold the little wire here to go ahead and extend out to trap the X-Men, and then of course you could close that and tighten it up. So that's really cool, and I think that this Sentinel is a really great build and certainly a huge upgrade from the original one a decade ago. And one other note on the Sentinel is that we get all of these extra stickers here that you could put on the Sentinel wherever you want, really, to show battle damage. For me personally, I kind of like the clean look, so I'm not going to put the stickers on, but I just wanted to show you that the option is there if you wanted to. So, as we look at the mansion from the outside, there's tons of detail. In X-Men 97, it's actually 3 stories high, but this is its own thing. It's not based off of 97, so we're just judging it on its own merit, not necessarily accuracy. We do have an X sticker here, as well as an established 1963, of course referencing the debut year of the X-Men. And there are some notable features outside, like this little pin we talked about from before for the Sentinel to put his foot on. Then we also have these guns that pop up out of the lawn here, which are pretty interesting for a little home defense. We've got trees on either side, another gun over here, as well as the Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters sign over here. As we look around the model, you'll notice these holes, you know, right here. We've got some built into the side. Those are basically for those floating J pieces to have your X-Men float around the mansion. So just keep an eye out for those as we go along. That being said, other features, we have a sticker here with Wolverine's claws. And over here, we have all of these pieces that are broken, like this fire hydrant and everything. And of course, you can see how these pieces could be moved and replaced to have it kind of be more in like civilian mode, if you will. Then, of course, you could take this and move it here, and then just get rid of these effects pieces for it to just be a regular day on X Mansion Street. I really like how intricately the roof is designed, especially to get all of the shaping and contouring, which looks great. And of course, both of the chimneys on both sides kind of having a different look is really nice too. There is a play feature on the back where you can push a bar down and it will explode the top piece here, so I'll do that now. So that's pretty cool, and as you can see, there's that there where you can have Magneto emerge from the inside. As for the back, we'll just take a very brief look back here. Of course, we've got the basketball hoop here with the basketball on the floor. On this box here, you can see the Trask logo, which is a pretty awesome reference. Then we'll see some of these details when we actually take a look at the interior in just a moment. But we've got a No More Mutants here, as well as this crazy detailed throwback look at Days of Future Past. And of course, they don't say exterminated or anything. We're going with collected. Definitely a good Lego-friendly term there. We've got a reference to Pyro on the back door here, which of course opens into the main area, which again we'll look at in just a moment. We've got our trash bin here, which every Marvel set has had so far, with a reference to Toad up top with that Toad there. Then, of course, we have Beast's hat inside, a sword, and some chewing gum, as well as a 5-cent nickel piece, which I assume is a reference to the Magneto coin from the movies. And as you're building it, you see that little pink stud there. That's supposed to be a piece of gum that Jubilee has hidden. And as you're building it, you'll see those all on the inside, but I'll leave those surprises for you when you build it. We have a poster here for Nightcrawler, Man or Monster, our first official look at Lego Nightcrawler, as well as Dazzler live in concert, which is cool. Over here, we've got some graffiti with the claws for Wolverine, a reference to Pixie, and of course, an X-Men sticker. So those are all our references on the back, and now let's go ahead and take a look at the inside. Now, right before we go inside, I do want to say, keep in mind that the inside is very narrow and not very deep. If we could have somehow gotten rid of this alleyway and extended all the bricks back, I feel like it would have fixed any and all issues of the inside, because then, of course, we would have had more room for more details, and I just want you to keep that in mind, because that's my biggest gripe with this set, is all of this wasted space. I know it's only 4 studs, but when we get inside and you see how cramped it is in some places, those 4 studs really could have helped a lot. So let's take a closer look. So I think the easiest way to show you the interior is to break it up piece by piece. Not to quote Pharrell Williams, of course. That being said, this is really crazy because it comes with 3 instruction booklets, and they basically have you build the entire mansion in 3 parts. So it's really cool how it comes apart, and you technically could make this kind of its own modular thing, right? Like if you just wanted to have it be one base plate, and it could go up against a building here, or you could just put these 2 sides together. But if you have 3 builders, each of you could build a section, which is cool too. There's also 24 bags, so if you get this and start on December 1st, you could build 1 bag every day leading up to Christmas Eve. So lots of fun ways to do that, but let's go ahead and take a look at the inside starting now. All right, so here we go. The front door's open, and on the inside, we've got the X logo on the floor, as well as 2 chairs there to have various X-Men take a seat. You'll notice this elevator might be familiar. It's because the same elevator company works in the Marvel Modular Universe as the Daily Bugle and Avengers Tower, and basically this is how the figures get from floor to floor, so that's pretty cool. As you can see, we've got that door back there, which we looked at on the back earlier. We've got this little bust statue in the corner. We've got a great photo on the wall from the grand opening of the X-Mansion school with Magneto and Charles there. Then we've got some really cool signage up top pointing to the classroom over here and the danger room over here, both of which we'll look at soon. We've got a little plant there, something in the corner here. I guess it's like a little vase or something. And then a picture of the first class. That's right, the very first X-Men from the debut comic on the wall there. Then as we move back, there's a walkway through the hallway here. We've got some books on the shelf there. It is kind of difficult to see these, which again goes back to my point. If this entire thing went to the back, just a couple more studs, we would have so much more space on the inside and it wouldn't be cramped. But there is a Creole cookbook there for Gambit, as well as a medical science book there for Beast. Then when we come over to the room, speaking of Beast, you can see that he's Zoom calling in to the first class, and that's really cool. We've also got a chalkboard there with all kinds of science mumbo-jumbo on it. Then, of course, if we slide that to the side, there's a secret compartment in the back that has all kinds of information about the Sentinel attack taking place, referencing in real time what's going on outside. You can see that we've got a travel piece there, which kind of continues the theme that we saw in the Sanctum of the travel brochures being around. You'll see this Xavier's School Charles Xavier business card. When you're building it, it actually tells you to put this underground, which, you know, is kind of a cool Easter egg, but once it's under there, you can never access it again. So I actually took it out and figured I'd leave it up front. Then, of course, we've got a little drawing here with Wolverine and the X-Jet. Really cool. Then in the corner, we also have a globe as well as 2 desks for the students to sit in, chairs with the little desk on the side, and overall, I like this area a lot. One other thing to note on the outside here, we've got the modular pegs, so you could add this to your modular city next to your other Avengers builds or any of your builds using these pegs, which is quite awesome. So on the other side, we have the danger room, which of course is really awesome. On the reporter news here, you can see that this reporter actually has 3 arms and kind of like an elfish ear, showing that he is a mutant. And of course it says, Sentinels return, keeping us all safe, ... right? And the reporter is a little nervous there because he is a mutant and there's mutants everywhere. Just beneath that, you can see we've got the iconic fire extinguisher on the wall, as well as a newspaper here that says mutant registration. And of course, the vote is ticked for no. Then, of course, we have the iconic X door here leading into the danger room. And that, of course, can be open and closed. Basically, you just take this little power box on the side here and pull that to the side to open it and enter the danger room, where we have all kinds of weapons and arsenals built into the room. Now, once again, just like the other side, think of all this wasted space in the back here that if this could have gone back, you'd be able to reach inside a little bit more. I mean, it's all I can do to fit my hand in there, and unfortunately, you just can't see a lot of the detail because of that. Speaking of the detail, though, I did mention when we were looking at the back that these can all be flipped around, so you could see that you could flip this around to the outside. If you wanted to play in the danger room where nothing's going on, you basically just flip the walls around, so that works out really well. But as far as that goes, it looks like we have some bombs on this wall here. We have an alarm there. We've got some rockets, some fire, as well as drills and all kinds of stuff in the floor. And the danger room actually goes up a level, so as we move up a level, we'll take a look at that. The other thing to look at, of course, is the window here with all of these spare pieces that have kind of been blown out. And you actually can take these pieces and rebuild them in order to basically put the wall back into order the way it is in the set. So you can kind of get the gist. I guess I don't have to rebuild the whole wall, but you can basically see how all the pieces to build it complete again are there if you want to, and so if you want to, you can. Okay, so as mentioned, as we build up, there's a whole nother floor for the danger room with more traps and more things for the X-Men to train around. And when we turn this on its side, you can see that there's an area for Charles to be able to watch and control everything. And there's also a chessboard on the floor for him and Magneto to get a game in a little later. All right, so moving to the middle section, we have kind of the lab area. And definitely the most disappointing part is Cerebro, which you can see right there. It's just a wire coming out of the wall that's attached to this bowl piece. We do get a Cerebro sticker over here, which is cool. And then we also have this sticker here that has all of the mutant locations on there. But once again, you got to go back to my point I made earlier about all this wasted alleyway space here and how cramped it is, because once you put Charles in there, he takes up basically the entire lab himself, which wouldn't be a problem if this extended the whole way back. So it's kind of like the Sanctum Sanctorum issue all over again, where stuff just doesn't have enough room to breathe inside, you know? Anyway, you could take the Cerebro helmet off the wall and place it on Charles's head, and it doesn't look bad, but it also doesn't look great either. Of course, we have the elevator connecting to the next level, as well as some VHS tapes hiding under there, which, again, are kind of hard to see for the reasons we were just talking about. There's also an MRI machine against the wall that the bed can move up. And underneath, we have an X-ray here showing Wolverine's metal adamantium skeleton, which is quite the cool Easter egg, if you ask me. Along the wall here, we have Beast's file cabinet, where there's a cookie hanging in the top drawer and a syringe in the bottom. And that looks pretty good. Then we move down the hallway. And in this hallway, you could see that Beast has spilled his coffee. The designer said that that's because he was in a rush to get out of here. And of course, that's kind of meta because he's not even included in this set. It's just a little strange to me how much of this set is Beast-centric and has references when he wasn't even included. But thankfully, we got him in the CMF. Anyways, we've got the cure loading on his computer here and just some stuff like a, you know, little microscope there and everything. Then in the bedroom here, we have even more detail. Of course, the best part of the entire set is that you can recreate the meme. I can't believe they did this. But then, of course, we've got a sword up on the wall, a drink by Wolverine's bed. This is really cool, too. The X-Men first issue comic recreation in Lego form on the floor, which looks great. Then, of course, we've got a throwback to the old calendar, which looks really great with an Alkali Lake reference there. And another bed on the other side with a Statue of Liberty there referencing the first X-Men movie and a pack of bubblegum, which, of course, Jubilee has left there. So that's basically everything there is to look at, and we'll go ahead and zoom out the video now. All right, guys, this is going to go ahead and conclude this review. Thank you again to LEGO for sending this my way, and of course, this set is absolutely massive and gargantuan, but my final verdict is I think it probably is my least favorite of any of the LEGO Marvel modulars to date. It's not to say it isn't good, it's just I don't feel that it packs the same punch on the interior as the Sanctum does, and all that wasted room in the back for the alleyway here really could have been used to help build out the interior and make it a little bit more spacious. Does that mean I don't like this set? Absolutely not. I love it. Does it mean it's a bad set? No, it's just my least favorite of the four we've gotten to date, but I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments down below, so be sure to hit like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos coming to my channel talking about the minifigures, upgrades, comparisons, and all that fun stuff, and I'll see you guys on the next video.